Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Radio Geonosis, where we talk about Star Wars from a certain point of view. I'm Angie.
I'm Aaron. What's up, guys?
And today we are going to be talking about Star Wars places you can visit here on Earth.
Yeah.
Which Earth is canon, by the way, in the Star Wars world,
yeah, so
according to E.T.
It all makes sense. We tie together finally.
Yeah, exactly. The Earth is finally tied into Star Wars. We know there are aliens on this planet. But before we do that, we're going to be talking about some hot happenings for the week. The first one, again, I will be at the Hesperia Civic Center on the 18th from 6 to 8 before the movie. They show the movie in the park of The Last Jedi. And I'll be there as the Rebel Legion representative. And there'll be some 501st there. I'm kind of sad Aaron's not going to be there.
I know, I'm close. Oh, jeez.
Then he has a birthday party.
Yeah.
Because it's his birthday this week. Everyone, please send to Aaron some birthday wishes.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for my gifts, too. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, anything for you, I always say. I always tell you that.
Thank you.
We have a new, they're talking about some, we're doing things on location. So I thought this was kind of cool that I found. New locations for the Star Wars movie, United Kingdom and Sydney, Australia. They're going to be out there filming and doing editing and all kinds of fun movie stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of plush lands out there, too.
Yeah.
Plush lands, vast lands.
Yeah, and I mean, you could make a movie just about in someone's backyard with so much forest and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely, that's true.
And then also, from what I understand, they could be building a Maz Kanaz sail barge.
Really?
Yeah. And I honestly believe they're going to be kind of trying to tie the old movies, the prequels, the sequels, and everything else all together with 9. They could be doing this because of all the information I kind of found about that. And I found it kind of interesting that, Ewan McGregor was at the last movie premiere for the Solo movie. And I wondered, I wonder if they're going to try and put him into 9 because he could be a Force ghost.
Could be, absolutely.
And he could be based on what I just read also. They said J.J. Abrams is taking tips from Ron Howard and sharing pictures and tweets for fans to get excited and to talk about.
Absolutely. It was. It's not the Star Wars universe, but the director for Zack Snyder, he does the Justice League movies, and he did Sucker Punch, and he did all the Sin City.
That's
movies.
A good movie.
Yeah, he started that, honestly. Like, he was one of the first directors to really share like photos on set, pictures and stuff like that to get the fans like involved, and the fans give feedback like change this part of his suit or just stuff like that. So yeah, that's good. I think you should do that.
Yeah, that's interesting because I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's really dope.
There's been hints that the Jedi history as well as Rebel history will be explored in Episode 9.
Okay.
So that's where I think that maybe possibly Obi-Wan could come into this.
Oh, see. Sure you would, Angie.
If Starkiller was going to be in there, you'd be all up in that.
Oh yeah. I'll definitely get kicked out of the theater. I would be kicked out the theater, like, sir, sit down.
He'd be crying
I
and
would
carrying
cry.
on.
Oh my gosh. I'm waiting for the day, now that you said that.
I would like to see that. I mean, in the games, do you see what he looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. He's just a regular, not a regular, obviously, but like, yeah, he's a real actor. He's in like True Bloods or I guess it's called True Bloods or something like that. Yeah, but he was at the premiere as well too. He was at like the Solo premiere too.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he's at all the Star Wars premieres, all of them. He gets it because the game is so impactful on just a lot of people.
You never know. They could actually bring that in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I think that we don't know. Disney, I think, maybe is pulling in and kind of keeping under wraps what they're gonna release, what movies they're gonna release, what shows they're gonna release. Because we never saw the Clone Wars return coming.
No,
it was
a
complete surprise.
Yeah.
And
so people were shocked.
Yeah, and so I think maybe this way you don't have so many people, the naysayers or whatever, trying to shut it down.
And I think that's the best way especially living in like a social media ran world, like you want to kind of keep things on the wrap.
Yeah.
These directors, they're humans too. They're directors, all these the writers and producers, they're human too. So you can get discouraged if a lot of people are just bashing your product before they even know what the final outcome is. So, yeah, you know, I can understand that too. Like, just keeping things on the hush. When we're ready to show you guys a teaser or whatever, we'll show you guys.
You know, I wish I had known that the guy that does the Star Killer was there, because I had gone to the last Jedi. I mean, to the Last Jedi movie premiere, and I didn't even know Dita Von Teese was there.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, I wish I had known, because that would have been really cool to meet him. If I had had a picture with him, I'm sure you'd be crying.
I'll definitely show you a picture. I'll show you a picture during the show or after the show. Like,
yeah,
he's at all of them. Like, it's crazy.
That's really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then they said the production is heading back. This is interesting, to Carnegieton Airship Sheds, which is where the original where they originally constructed the Masia outpost base for the planet Yavin 5 in 2015.
Oh, okay.
So that has to have been that had to have been for 2015. Could that have been for Rogue One?
Rogue One or 7? Rogue One episode 7?
Is it? Yeah. Could it have? Because Yavin, I don't read Roman numerals. I don't know what IV is. It could be 4. Yeah, Yavin 4.
Yeah.
Because
5 is just just a V.
Yeah, because I don't read Roman numerals, so I should have done my math on that one.
I'm not good at Roman numerals either.
My son knows it.
I believe that's 4.
4, yeah. So they're going back to the base. So I found that kind of interesting too, because then that would actually bring in the Rogue One movie.
Yeah.
So maybe he is trying to weave all the movies and crochet them back in together.
Yeah. That was probably. That's interesting though. I wonder why that is.
Yeah, because if you're trying to there's hints of the Jedi history as well as Rebel history. They're going to be exploring that in the movie. So, you know, what they're doing is, if they're talking about Jedi history, which they did a little bit in The Last Jedi, but I think if they're doing that, then they're weaving everything in together, like sewing that seam in. As strange as that sounds, it's
Rebel history is important too.
Oh, it is. It is.
It is important.
And when I went to the bookstore to get you your Bounty Hunter book, I did see one on the Rebels as well, so I'm going to have to own that. I have the Sith one. I need the Jedi one. There's also an Imperial Code as well.
Oh, really? The Imperial Code must be so crazy. So many rules and regulations.
Think about
Sector
that.
100, Section AB of this. Oh
yeah, you need to know all. It's like you need to know every single code when you're either not so much a clone. But if you're a stormtrooper,
yeah, absolutely.
You know all the different things, and these were just like human dudes that signed up, not like clones that were trained from babies.
Yeah.
Because we just talked about that too.
Yeah, we just talked about it right now.
Yeah, because those guys, you know, where Boba Fett is more educated, the stormtroopers were not, because these were dudes just coming off of different planets, women and men. We don't know if they were ladies too, but. They were just coming off of different planets signing up, and you know they're not like the First Order. First Order again trained as small children, so they were actually more educated than the stormtroopers.
Were. Yeah, that's crazy. That's interesting too.
Yeah, well they all died. You know, I can kind of see how it fits in, because they all died off, and so they were like, okay, we don't have an army anymore, and they've got to be able to control, even though. You know, there was a small rebellion. They still have to control all of the planets.
Yeah, they still can't. They still can't afford to have like a rebellion rising and sparking this planet or whatever.
Right.
Other rebellion. Other rebellion starting. So.
Right. Seemed like the rebellion. It was not as big as the stormtrooper army.
Yeah.
And so they needed all these guys. And so when those guys, after Return of the Jedi. You know, you had a lot of them killed, and so the First Order, in order to come back, they had to grab them as kids again. So it was like, back to the drawing board.
Back to square one.
Get them when they're kids.
Yep.
So Star Wars places you can visit on Earth. I really found that interesting, because there's a lot of movies that hold a special place for everybody. And movies like Harry Potter, Twilight, The Lord of the Rings, and Star Wars hold a special place with a lot of people. And even in Blade Runner and a lot of these movies, even in The Matrix, a lot of folks really, really, really are die-hard fans.
Yeah.
You know, and it's obvious with Lord of the Rings, because I posted something today. In Germany, they were at like a Renaissance fair, it looked like, but they had an army of orcs.
Yeah.
There were guys. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that. That is crazy.
So be careful. They had just a few days of baggedy bread.
I'm not surprised that Germany was where that was at, though.
Yeah, and you know they actually have a big garrison there in Germany for the 501st.
Oh,
I mean, full-on, huge garrison of dudes that are like officers, stormtroopers, Darth Vader, the Palpatine, all of that.
Yeah,
I saw something on that too, but the orc army was really cool.
Yeah, then and about overseas, Europe or whatever the case may be, like their nerd culture is like not hidden at all.
No.
They throw festivals, they throw mad parties on the streets, like for days on end, just to celebrate what they love. Like,
yeah,
which is cool though, which is awesome.
And in Japan, it's like a 24-hour.
Oh yeah, that's just every day. It's just a 24-hour.
They just show up to work in those clothes.
Exactly. Which is why we're going in the beginning of the year next year.
Yay! Oh my God, I'm excited.
Yeah,
you better bring me back a Godzilla.
Yeah, I will, absolutely, for sure.
So it's obvious that a lot of fans they really love Harry Potter and Star Wars, because in Universal Studios, in both of them, there are Harry Potter worlds.
Yeah. Harry Potter worlds.
And then in Disneyland, I think they're going to have it in both the parks, one in Florida, because they Disneyland.
Yeah.
And then and in California, they're going to have Star Wars there. Yeah, so that's really exciting. For Lord of the Rings, they have Hobbiton, which is in New Zealand, and people go there. They can actually stay there.
Stay there, yeah. That's crazy.
That's awesome.
That's crazy. I saw that on the Travel Channel.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you want to? I would love to
sure.
go.
I wanted to.
I have a friend from New Zealand. I mean, I'm like, take me with you. Let me go back with you. Also, Twilight. You know, when the Twilight movies came out in 2008, you know, like we talked about Dominique being really excited about that. When the movies were being filmed, people were going to Forks, Washington, to see if maybe they could run into the movie stars and see them filming. And eventually, it became so bad that they had to go to Canada to do. They had to relocate to Canada, and they actually redid Bella's house inside of a movie studio, because it got to the point where it was.
They just couldn't shoot there.
Right.
Man,
It was just.
Yeah,
It was too much.
That is so crazy.
So when I went there in 2016, I was super excited to just see all of these different places that they had filmed. Yeah. The school, I could tell they had gotten the front banner from the school, or the front, the thing that shows the school's name, but they did a lot of the filming in Canada, because the school looked nothing like it.
Nothing like what they had.
Yeah, but so that was kind of cool. But a lot of fans go to these different places because they're drawn to it because of the movies. And the same thing with the Goonies. My friend Sarah had gone to the Goonie house because she loved that movie so much she wanted to go to that house. So I thought it was kind of cool. There's a couple others. There's the Amityville Horror House. A lot of people go to that.
That's a big one.
Yeah, and America Horror Story.
That's a big one.
That house as well, which I would not go there.
No,
that'd be way too creepy for me.
No. Some things just don't go to.
Yeah, and I don't know if I told you that the place in Australia is called Hobbiton.
Hobbiton.
I wonder if the orcs go there.
Hobbiton.
Yeah, I wonder if they go there. Mark has a friend that used to do, he worked for the movie studios and he built sets. And he's now gotten to the point where he finds locations for movies.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool, where you would think, okay, like the director says and the writer says, we have this script and we need it to look like this.
Yes, yeah.
So they got to hunt through different places in the country to do that.
A lot of emails, a lot of site searching.
Yes.
Then sightseeing.
Yes.
Sounds like a fun job though.
Yeah.
You just get to travel around and just find locales.
But sometimes, my son's partner, ex-partner was he did a lot of films. He did a lot of stuff on the movie sets, and I think he was assistant director. I'm not sure. But he did Blood Diamond. He did the movie Blood Diamond.
With Leonardo DiCaprio.
Right, and so he was in South Africa for almost a year.
Wow.
filming. So they're there.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're there longer. For Lord
Yeah.
of the Rings, I believe they were there for 4 to 5 years.
Oh, really?
Because they filmed all of
them
it. It
at
could
once,
even
yeah.
be longer than that. They could have been there for 6 years.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. So imagine all that time they're building all those friendships
Mhm.
because all those people have to be there for that amount of time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So I'm networking.
Yes, yes. Okay, so today we're going to be doing the places you can visit on Earth. So Aaron, I'm going to let you go first. I want you
Okay. Well, mine is starting off where it's not where my grandma was born, but it's close by. It's the national park in Guatemala. We're talking about Yavin Ford.
Yeah.
That's in between, of course, Mexico and the Pacific Ocean, Belize, and the Caribbean. So it's right down the street from where my parents grew up. My whole family grew up. But yeah, it's basically like the Mayan temples.
That's I think Echo Base.
Yeah,
isn't
yes,
it?
that's exactly what you were just talking about. Yavin Ford. So that was my first one, just because of the fact of it's in the Caribbean, right by Belize, right by my parents' spot, and to think that a Star Wars a scene or a base was filmed there is pretty awesome.
Close to your house, close to your family's
exactly.
home.
So that's my first one.
That's cool. We're going to have to go visit there because it's odd that, it's not odd, but my family is from Nicaragua, and my dad it was on the Atlantic side, and my dad is not far from the Caribbean as well.
Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah, he's right there too.
Yeah, they're
all
right there. And my great grandmother was on Saint Lucia, so she was.
Oh, yeah.
She was born, or she was there on that island.
They're all right in the midst.
Yes.
Right each other. Right
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're kind of family.
Hey.
Now this one was. Some of the names of these places were
pretty crazy. Huh? Yeah.
A gym Tusani was used in the desert planet of Tatooine, the exterior of Obi-Wan Kenobi's home, and is an old mosque.
Oh.
Yeah, his home was a mosque. It was used as the Mos Eisley spaceport as well in A New Hope.
The Mos Eisley spaceport?
Yeah, Mos Eisley space.
Yeah.
You'll never see more scum and villainy.
Yeah.
But it was at the mosque.
So villainy.
That's kind of cool. We're gonna have to go to that bar.
Yeah. I know. I want to go. I want to go really bad.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go. Okay, what's your next one?
My next place is Arlie actually told me about this one because he's gonna be going to Italy, I believe in September, October.
I'm
but
jealous.
For the Phantom Menace, Lake Como, this Lake Como in Italy, I believe it's where Leia and not Leia, but
Mom and Dad.
Yeah, Padme and
Anakin
were had their moment right there.
They had more than that.
Yeah.
She ends up pregnant in the next movie, so they had more than that.
But yeah, that one, and I didn't even think that was. I honestly thought that was all CG. I didn't even think that was an actual real place. But it was. I guess that came up in Italy's travel guide. When they give you that it's an iconic place. Yeah, and it showed them right there. That's crazy.
I think that's the one that I looked up too, and it was built in the 1750s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's amazing.
That is great, and it looks. It looks really neat.
Beautifully. I could see how they could get the idea of this place being like the lake country.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
because remember, she came from, even though she was technically not royalty, she was voted in, and her parents were just activists on Naboo.
On Naboo, yeah.
It was actually Palpatine that was royalty. His family was,
His family was the royalty,
yeah.
The real royalty.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All these villas and all the greenery, yeah. That's crazy. That it's
How
in
could
the
you
travel.
ever get tired of looking at that? Oh my God.
That's so nice. Yeah, it really does.
You're like, I'm dreaming of going there. Okay, so this one is the Hotel it's S-I-D-I, Sidai dress in Tusani. I don't even know how to say that. Tunasani?
I'm pretty sure you're close.
Yeah. The hotel was used as the Lars homestead in A New Hope and in Attack of the Clones. You could actually stay at that hotel.
Oh, really? To this
yes,
day? Oh,
you
wow.
can stay there. Who wouldn't want to stay there, drink some blue milk?
Oh, man, I would. Oh, the blue milk, where he got the blue milk from? Oh, no, not from that monster.
No, that's
okay.
that actually green.
It was. Oh, yeah, you don't even like that part of the movie. think that part is so gross.
It's so bad. And the thing is groaning. It's like, please don't milk me again.
I know, not again, Luke. Ah.
And he doesn't just do it nice. It socks it in the stomach,
Yeah,
and the
he
milk
does.
pops out.
Yeah, that
It's
is-
like, all right, oh.
Luke's really rough. He's really, really rough. Oh,
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay. Kashyyyk is really in Guilin, China. It's a yeah, I didn't know that either. None of this stuff because I know back in the day, China like back in samurai times, when they would make the rice, and they would stand and on the lake on the hillsides, but they had water and
Yes.
lake like that. I didn't know that's where Kashyyyk was though, because I didn't see any of that in Kashyyyk. Any of those like the hillside.
Right.
I didn't see none of, so I didn't expect it to be in China. I thought that
Well,
was somewhere else.
I think it's kind of like near the coast, and
Oh,
that's
okay, yeah,
why.
see, that's why I didn't
Because
know.
China does have a coast.
They do. And,
Yeah.
And what they're showing right here is they're not too far off from the coast. I don't think the coast is like over this area, but you see this area right here.
Oh yeah.
Like this were like this were the farming patterns that were left over time. So I didn't expect.
That is awesome.
That looks really.
You need to check that out.
Yeah, you guys got to check that out. But like, yeah, I didn't expect. That's why I chose this one, because I didn't expect it to be like in China. I had no idea.
Gosh, when they tell you they need it to be a specific way, you're like, I think we'll just go to China.
Yeah, sure, we'll pay for it. You guys have fun and come back. That is crazy. I want that job so bad.
How about that Hardanger Jokelin Glacier in Norway? I don't even know if I'm saying these things right, but I'm just going to pronounce them the way I don't. This was used in Empire Strikes Back, the opening battle scene on the planet Hoth, and it's the sixth largest glacier in Norway.
And that was that.
That they used that for the battle scene in The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think it's actually. Oh no, it's not. It's not the same one. But this is the one they use in the battle scene. So when you see them, all like the plane, like the Imperial walkers walking, and then you see them, they're all getting killed and all that, and they take out the. What is it that they have? The ion cannon.
The ion cannon.
Yeah, they take it out. That's all on that glacier.
Oh, okay. In Norway.
In Norway.
That's so when they shoot these movies and they go to Norway, they just shoot that scene. Because my thing is, I'm assuming, I'm not a director or anything, but like I'm assuming they maybe get that scene right. I take like a few times. That's just it, and then just fly back to wherever the next scene.
Well,
is.
it depends on what they have to bring with them, and then what they have to take back. And that scene is what, maybe 7 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And they could spend 6 months there.
Dude, that is so insane. That is so.
Well, think about the kiss. Think about the kiss and going to the lake country. It basically is what, 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're in Italy for 6 months.
Just living it up.
Yeah, and they're they got to take the costumes with them, the makeup artists, the cater. They got to take everything.
Oh, yeah.
They're flying 1,000 or so people with them to get that done.
And that right there explains movie budgets.
Yes.
That's all a part of the movie.
But sometimes I know that Lucas does a lot of filming in England too, so they might have some of that stuff there. That Italy's not too far away, so some of that stuff is like going to LA for us.
Yeah.
So but you have to still get all the costume people. They could either be making the costumes there, or they can maybe making the costumes here. It just depends.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to ask my friend Luis, because he does. He's a costume maker for
movies.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to ask him.
So even he would get flown out, maybe have possibly have to stay there for like upwards of 6 months or so. Lucky guy.
On my chase, what a tough job.
Lucky guy. This one from the Empire Strikes Back. We were just talking about this one, Death Valley.
Yes.
So you were saying how you wanted to go there.
We need to go there, but in the cooler time of the year.
I know that's crazy too, because in the Empire Strikes Back, I don't know how many locales that they use for the Empire Strikes Back. I would have to look into that. But to go probably from somewhere, I'm assuming they went somewhere plush, somewhere nice for that movie, and then they'll get the whole crew to let's go film in Death Valley. Must have sucked.
Yeah, they're like, oh my god.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. They probably stayed in like those mobile home things,
Oh yeah, the trailer. Yeah,
but it said one of them was 20 Mule Team Canyon is where they did the scene for the C3PO and R2D2 traveled to Jabba's palace.
So, yeah.
They used that road. So
Okay.
I mean, there was actually maybe a couple of spots, but to me it seemed. I'm gonna have to watch the movie again, but it seemed like it could have been more in the fall or spring when it's cooler. I don't imagine they did that in the dead of summer.
Yeah, oh yeah, oh no.
Where it's like 130 on the normal.
And it still kind of looked hard on Obi-Wan's face. He still looked like...
Yeah, like, get me out of here, I'm dying. So the next one is Finnish Norway. Finest Norway was the... this was where the Rebel Alliance Echo Base on Hoth was.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. So they stayed there. So they could have been filming 6 months, but going to like 2 or 3 different locations. Skywalker Escapes from the Wampa is also where they filmed that, and he sees the spirit of Obi-Wan before he is rescued by Han Solo. And then they said they shot that outside of Finest 1222 hotel. So there was maybe a hotel right there, and then look outside. Hey, this is gonna work. For
this is gonna Let's just knock it out. and they could compromise like that too. That's so crazy how movies are shot.
Yeah,
that is so crazy.
Or because they have to take pictures and then they bring it back to the director and say, hey, we want to shoot this movie here. And do you think it's gonna, or, do you think this is what you're looking for as far as, because they could have 3 or 4 different locations before they decide this one's perfect.
And those same photos they take, and we were just watching this not too long before you came, but we were seeing how you could, on a green screen, actually take photos of somewhere and like place it with the green screen and just layer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They take those pictures and they use them sometimes for the scene, actually.
Yeah. That's actually what they did for the volcano. And I believe it was in Italy.
Yeah.
That they did that. They only used they took the pictures and they plated it onto the movie for the fight scene.
Mustafar. For Mustafar, they just layered it.
The Revenge of the Sith.
It's okay. Yeah, for Mustafar, they just layered the active volcano out there, and they just layered it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I tell you, Anakin just invited him over for a barbecue, not realizing he was the
barbecue. That's not what it was. Anakin messed up. He should have got higher ground, man. He should have. To this day, he should have got higher ground.
I know he did. And, I think he just really struggled with it the entire time. When you watch Revenge of the Sith at the very end, when he's standing there with Palpatine, and he says, no, Palpatine's laughing.
Yeah, Palpatine doesn't care.
No, he's laughing like, you buffoon.
Yeah, you idiot.
Yeah.
You idiot.
Well, and he knew he had him there. He knew he had him because now he doesn't have the power that he did, so he will never take over.
Yeah.
He will never be able to, like with the rule of 2 where they take out the apprentice will take out the master. He knew that was never going to happen.
Yeah.
That's why he was laughing.
That's why he was laughing. Yeah. Palpatine's the evil guy. He always had a plan. The Redwood National Forest for Endor.
Yes.
That was probably one of yours, huh?
No, I just made the whole list.
Oh, okay, so we're fine anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, the Redwood National Forest for Endor, and now, when they shot that part, like it wasn't like the Redwood National Forest like it is now. I don't think. Like now, there's like a walkway and pathways and like fun facts about the different trees and just the Redwood National Forest as it is now. And Star Wars, of course, like being shot there is a tourist attraction.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of people go out there probably to do scenes as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Friend of mine, she did some scenes kind of like that, where she was she did the costumes and everything, and they did like a little video. It was super, super cute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was super cute. I think a lot of people, I think that out of all of the scenes and places, that has probably got to be the most iconic
one. Yeah.
And you know why? Because it's not far from Skywalker Ranch.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah, a lot of people have tried to get onto that ranch or go there to visit. They don't have tours. They do not have tours there. That's his private home. But my friend Rob and our leader from Saber Guild was able to go there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he went there with there was 5 different guys that went. The leader of the 501st, the leader of the Saber Guild, the leader of the droids, the leader of the Mandos, and then of the Mandalorian mercs, and then the rebels. Yeah.
Where they offer green milk.
Yeah, no.
But doesn't Skywalker Ranch sound inviting though? Like you could.
Yes.
Go? It does. It sounds like it's a place you could go.
Yes.
You probably should change the name of that.
Yeah, it was Rebel Legion. The guy that runs all of Rebel Legion. That's really cool. But he had pictures, and I was just in awe.
Oh, really?
I was just in awe. I'm like, oh my gosh! I know that there's a fountain in San Francisco that a lot of people go to. You can go to this fountain, and it's where Yoda is.
Really?
Yeah, it's the Yoda fountain.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look for it.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting.
Yes,
yeah.
I would love that. Okay, so the next one was Yuma Desert, Arizona, and it was for Return of the Jedi, shot in Buttercup Valley. I wonder where Buttercup Valley is. It's where the sacral. What was that? How do you say that? The sacral. Surlock. The Surlock pit sequence was used and Jabba's sail barge scene. Both of those, it was done in Buttercup Valley, Yuma, Arizona. It took 5 months to build that pit, and more than 500 cast members stayed there in Yuma, Arizona.
In Yuma, Arizona?
1982.
Oh, what?
Yeah, in 1982. So it was they had to build that pit because they had to make a big hole, and then they had to put that thing in there with all the mechanical thing because people were going to fall in it.
Yeah. How sad.
I know, including our favorite Mando.
Oh, really? He was even going to fall in it?
No, he did fall in it.
Oh, yeah, he did fall in it. That's right. Yeah, he
Yes.
did. Our favorite Mando, which you weren't mad at that scene, but like how you were saying, like, for a guy like that, like, for him to die so easily.
Yeah, because he was just, and it was actually just an accident.
Yeah.
Han Solo just kind of shot and
And
he
it
fell
hit,
in.
yeah.
Yeah, he was like, you didn't even expect to do it. And I mean, for the guy to be so ominous and to have like such a short, that he just went out, bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing where we said about the high up Jedi.
Yeah.
They were taken out in one swoop.
Yeah, it wasn't.
He just walked in and took them out. They all walked in. They were out.
They didn't even fight back.
No, they had no time.
Come on, Jedi. So I have one in Croatia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Croatia. I'm gonna try to pronounce this. The Dubrovnik, Croatia, Canto Bright. I guess is what it really means. Canto Bright. The stunning
That's
planet.
clever.
The stunning planet full of a mega-rich galaxy, elites gambling, drinking, dancing the night away. That's where the elite go when they want to get away.
They go to Cantobite.
They go to yeah.
We all go to Vegas.
Yeah, we all go to Vegas. Yeah, so that's their Vegas, and it looks so old school. It looks so traditional. A lot of these places, though, like honestly, they're surrounded by water.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm kind of getting. And I don't really think about that stuff
Not
when you're
Tatooine.
watching. No, not Tatooine at all. No, but the places where the rich are, where love is, and where like where parts of the movie they could kind of ease away, or even like stuff where stuff goes bad, like with Rey trying to find out who she really is. That place was surrounded by water, and that was in Australia. I don't know where that. Oh, that was in Ireland or something.
That's in Ireland. Yeah.
So like anywhere where love is, like doubt, or it seems to be surrounded by water.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's something I never even thought about, because you're exactly right.
Yeah, that's actually what this list made me kind of realize. Like any place that has to do with love, doubt, or like a conflict of like what someone's going through or something like that, has to do or
There's
the
water.
elite, the gambling, the elites basically, where the elite are in the galaxy, the traders, the sellers, the higher ups.
Right.
They're surrounded by water.
And even, as strange as it sounds, and even in Revenge of the Sith, when Anakin is on Mustafar, what is it? Lava.
Yeah.
That's like water.
It's like water basically. Yeah, it's flowing.
Yeah.
It flows.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. I think that it might be an entendre to show like the struggles like within yourself or something. I don't know what it is, but
No, you're right. And remember, when Anakin is coming back to Coruscant, the rain is coming down.
Yeah.
It's pouring, so there's water there because it's, we don't see it raining at all. It's usually nice weather, and that day when he's coming back, it's raining.
Mm-hmm. So it could be just what Star Wars does to probably just like if for Star Wars fans to realize like something's gonna actually go on between someone like having in a conflict. Something that has to do with love is going to happen, or we're going to see some real rich people, some real nasty rich people here. You know what I mean? Because even in The Last Jedi, I forgot the name of the gambling planet that they were on, but like that was surrounded by water. They could only ride those dogs, those race dogs, like those for so far before it was surrounded by water.
Right, because it was like
they needed a ship.
Yeah, it was like a. I'm trying to think of what it was. Like an island of some sort.
Yeah, like an island, exactly. Yeah, like an island. Yeah.
And it's odd that you say that because let me see. I'm trying to find it.
Oh, did you have one?
Yeah, it is. Hang on, I'm trying to find it. We got a moment of quiet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for Rogue One, it's Lama Toll, Moldavia. Used in Rogue One is the Imperial base located. Imperial base location on the planet Scarif. But that planet is also surrounded by water.
Yeah.
And you see that huge battle and everybody dies.
Yeah.
In that part.
And that last part, an embrace was shared between both of them who didn't really like each other in the beginning.
Right.
You know what I mean? She had he's probably gonna kill my dad, and they didn't really trust each other and stuff like that. But they grew to trust each other. Excuse me. In that last part, they shared like that last embrace while it looked like it was a sunset or the sun was coming up, but it was actually
their
an
death.
explosion.
Yeah.
And they were surrounded by water.
Yeah, they were surrounded by water, and you see them. Everybody on that planet, nobody survives. Yeah. Nobody.
Yeah.
They took out everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
Even their own kind.
Yeah.
Even the bad guys' own kind. But it was surrounded by water.
And the rebels were there, so it's like, look, we have to stop the rebels because look what they're doing right now. They infiltrated, obviously, they infiltrated one of our most safe, secure, brand new base. Actually, like something that they just.
And all their information.
All their weapons, all their, everything. So yeah.
Right. All the information for everything was on that, for the Death Star, which is interesting because they start building another one. So where did they get that information? Someone had a file somewhere.
Yeah, someone had a file somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe a rebel was tracked down and they gave it up. Probably for like if you give it to us, you'll be fine. Get killed, get double crossed.
Well, somebody had plans. Someone somewhere had plans of the Death Star because they actually, when they take it out the first time, they are in the process of rebuilding it in Return of the Jedi, and you can see that they're building it.
Yeah.
They're
working on it.
They're working on it. But when it gets blown up again, they're like, "Damn it, we're just going to go to a planet next." But they actually had the technology and the plans for that. So they may have had most of their information on Scarif, but they might have had it in other places. I imagine that for like real important information, Palpatine probably has it.
Yeah.
He could have. Yeah, he could have that as in a secret safe somewhere that these are important things. The other stuff, if it gets blown up, it's not.
It's not that. If it gets blown up, we don't need it. Obviously.
Yeah, we don't need that. We don't need it at all. So next one is Grindelwald, Switzerland, and it was the backdrop for the planet Alderaan in the Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. Switzerland, where they probably ate a lot of chocolate. The Swiss were known for their chocolate, but chocolate is actually not from Europe.
Where is chocolate from?
It's from South America.
Oh, really? Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from South America. And it was back in the 1700s, well, when Christopher Columbus came, he would trade the Indians and things for that chocolate and then brought it back to the European countries. And it was probably more, it was the cocoa. It was more valuable than gold or diamonds or whatever. It was more valuable
at that time.
Yeah, but I had seen, we were talking about it. I was talking to Konami about it, how chocolate was found in an Egyptian tomb. I saw that on the History Channel. So it's obvious that South America was trading with even the Egyptians
at that time,
way before Christopher Columbus
came. Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I think that people had been trading since the beginning.
I mean, that's how connections are made. That's how we'll never fully know, but I mean, it's safe. They didn't have internet back then. They're safe to assume you set voyage, you find people have stuff that you don't have, and you trade. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because if you look at the Mayan temple, it looks a lot like a pyramid.
Exactly. So where did they get that information?
They got it from the Egyptians for trading for the cocoa.
Exactly. And that's a historical fact Andy just said.
We just put that together. How about this one? I don't know if you got this one. The Plaza del España, Seville in Spain. Yeah, and they used that in the Attack of the Clones. It's where Padme and Anakin walk through the plaza.
Yeah, it's the whole plaza shootout, isn't it?
Let's do that.
That was a nice locale, though.
I know.
That place is really, really nice.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
They picked some beautiful scenery because for the first 3 movies, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, it had to show a very important time in the galaxy. It had to show the splendor of the galaxy, the splendor of the Jedi, and of what was going on in that time.
Yeah.
And after that, it kind of got like, anything goes. It was all bad guys and whatever.
And I feel like episodes 1, 2, and 3, when they're like in places like that, like I feel like they were going for like a cathedral kind of Catholic architecture kind of buildings, like the sharp buildings and like real 1700s kind of like architecture.
real Maria Antoinette, Louis XIV kind of thing.
I think they were going for like architecture like that, like your Italy's and your Spain's and your Casa de, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they were going for like that kind of feel, and
high royalty.
And during like episode 1, 2, and 3, it was a lot of Jedi and Sith stuff going on, but it was really like the love story between Anakin and Padme, and that kind of architecture is like very kind of romantic, kind of
and very important because she was regal.
Exactly. Yeah. So like, it's all tied together now for me as far as like why these scenes were or why these locales were like chosen, especially for the movies like the older, like the Empire Strike Back where a lot of
it was more gritty.
It was more gritty, a lot of harsh lands, like unsafe environments, like Glacier, like Hoth, and stuff like that. As far as before that time, episode 1, 2, and 3, it was more like very, like we just said, like very like plush and brighter. It was not as dark. It was just a brighter time, like you know what I mean?
Yeah, a very opulent time in the galaxy where, even with Princess Leia, she was a princess, but you see her clothes are nothing like her mom's. They're nothing like it.
Yeah, her fashion sense is really.
Yeah, she only wore white, but she, even when she was General Organa, she still did not have that kind of look like her mom. Her mom had these costumes and had these, I'm sure was worth a lot of money because even they mention it in Phantom Menace that they could sell her.
They could sell their garments
for a lot, but. Her daughter didn't wear that because it wasn't a very opulent and regal time in the galaxy. It was more gritty and more, you were fighting off the bad guys. You were fighting off the Empire. The Empire was, they were the hammer down, you're going to give me all your money kind of thing. It was like one of the worst overlords, that you can be a part of. Even in the time of Louis XIV, the people that were really poor, they were overtaxed, they had nothing, and these people, the ones that lived with Louis, they had the all of the riches and the money and all of that, whereas the other people didn't. And it seemed the same kind of way with the Empire. The Empire, they had to. I don't know if they paid the stormtroopers. I imagine they did.
Yeah.
Because they were all volunteered kind of guys, So I imagine they paid them.
Somehow, yeah.
But you also had to pay for another Death Star, so that was probably going to cost a lot.
Yeah, you had to get that from somewhere.
Yeah, you had to squeeze it out of people.
Exactly.
Like, you blow up the Death Star, we're going to make you pay again.
Exactly.
They were doing it the first time and the second time, because even the Lars family, it seemed like they were really, they did not have a lot of money. They didn't dress like they were, they had a ton of money. Even Obi-Wan and even on the planet Tatooine, you see that the people are not rich.
Yeah, not at all.
That's because the Palpatine squeezed out everything.
Every single last penny out of them. Oh my God, what are you doing, guy?
He was a weasel. Do you have another one?
Oh no, it's all you from here.
Okay, well, how about Whippendale Wood? I like that. Whippendale Wood, Watford, England. Used twice in the Phantom Menace. It was the first place that it was used first, where Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan meets Jar Jar Binks, and the second time it was used as the secret hiding place for the Gungans.
Oh.
Remember that?
I remember that. Yeah,
he took them to where there was a secret hiding place.
Watford, England. Wow.
Yes. How about this one? Skill Michael, Ireland is the island used for Luke's exile. The planet that he was on was Hancho 2.
From the Last Jedi.
Yeah. What was the name of the planet?
I don't know. I don't remember the name of the planet. I don't remember the name of the planet. What's it?
Hanchu 2?
Yeah. Hanch 2.
Hanch 2?
Hanch 2.
It's where the exiled. Now this was at the end of.
But he exiled himself, right? Sorry.
Yeah, he did. This was no, that's fine. This is where, remember, she's walking up those little steps, and I think it actually changes because in The Last Jedi you don't see those steps anymore. She doesn't go up those steps again, does she?
I don't know.
I've only seen it 3 times, so I'm gonna have to watch it again.
It's not ringing any bells, right? Because that's not what I just didn't pay attention if she was.
Yeah, if she went up and down those stairs, it seemed like more mountainy. But in this one, in The Force Awakens, there were stairs. Yeah. And he actually did not say a word in that movie.
Yeah.
He was paid a lot. Mark was paid a lot, but did not say 2 words in that movie.
Yeah. He kept it very minimal. He was definitely like coming off of a lot.
Yeah, because she handed him the saber, and that was the end of the movie.
Yeah, and then when I like how the last one started, he just was like just walking. He didn't want it.
Yeah, he threw it.
Yeah, he threw it.
Which would that's the part I think kind of makes me mad, because what the lightsaber represents. It represented the Jedi. It represented his father. It represented so much, and for him to just throw it, it didn't make any sense. It is everything he had learned from Yoda. And all of that, and for him to just toss that, it was pretty sacred, and I mean, it just did not make any sense to me.
And that could be what the lightsaber stands for, how far he's come, and what you gonna have to do to earn it, and for things to still go astray. He's probably just like, this doesn't even.
Yeah, because I mean, Kylo
It
Ren.
could be. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe because of what Kylo Ren did to it, but I mean, to me, it just seemed really messed up.
Yeah.
How about this one? The Rubal Kai Desert in Dubai.
Oh, they went to Dubai.
Yeah, they went to Dubai, and it was the desert planet of Jakku that everybody wants to go back to. Everybody wants to go back to Jakku, and I can see why.
In Dubai.
It was in Dubai, because have you seen Dubai? It's beautiful.
Yeah, Dubai is a really wealthy place. Yeah.
That's why everybody wants to go back to Jakku, because it's in Dubai. And this was used in the Force Awakens films. The crew was there 6 months filming. Rey always looks like in that movie, she always looks like she's sweating.
Oh yeah, it's hot. I know that for sure. Dubai's hot.
Even in the like the fall or the spring, I imagine it's a cool 105.
A cool 105.
Because it's a desert.
Yeah, it's a straight desert. Where it is located on the planet, it's just hot.
Yeah, it is. I think it's a whole hot planet. It's it doesn't have 2 suns, but it's just hot.
Yeah, it's just hot in that region of I think Dubai's located not Egypt, but like, is it in Africa?
It's in no.
Is it like?
And then it's in the Middle East.
The
so
Middle
it's
East,
in,
yeah.
It could be closer to like where our families are from. It could be closer to the equator.
Equator. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why it's hot. Because my dad, where my dad's from, it's close to the equator, and where your family's from, and it's real tropical there.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hot.
Yeah, it's humid. Sticky,
yeah, all the time. So I think that's kind of where it is. But they were there 6 months. They probably loved it.
Wow.
How about this one? Salazar de Yuma, and it's in Bolivia. Oh, Bolivia. Yeah. Is that the one
Bolivia.
you talked about?
Yeah.
But this one is where it has the largest salt flats on Earth.
I didn't bring that up in my.
Yeah, this one has the largest. This one is in Bolivia, which is kind of close to where Guatemala and all of that is at. But I think your family is Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Belize is not Mexico. It's
like right at the
end of Mexico.
Well, Mexico has that little curve at the end of it. Belize is like right there.
The little teeny.
Yeah, the little teeny.
It's kind of how big is that country? You think 6 million people, kind of thing?
I think it's probably less. I think it's actually way less than that. I think Belize might be in the hundreds of thousands of people.
Wow, that's really small.
I could be wrong, but that's a safe assumption. I'm feeling.
I'm gonna have to Google that.
Yeah.
'Cause I want to take a look. But this has the largest salt flats on Earth. We have salt flats here. We have some in the desert, because we live in the desert, and then there's some in there's Bonneville, and I believe that's in Utah, where they do this. Mark just told me about it. They do the sound, breaking the sound barrier with bikes and cars.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In the Bonneville Flats.
Yeah.
It's really awesome to see that. Some guy just broke a record in a certain car doing 470 miles an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to go that fast. Was used as Crete, a mining planet covered with white salt and red soil. So that means that's actually there.
Yeah, that's still, yeah.
That is actually there. That would be awesome to see.
Yeah.
And it's where the resistance has their last stand against the First Order. Mm-hmm. And I just think it would be, here you go to this area, and it's got that red soil and the white salt. I just can't imagine. I'd take that home.
Yeah.
Containers.
Put it in a jar, yeah.
Yes, I want that.
There's locales we have to really visit on. That's also this list is showing me that I need to travel.
Yes, yeah. I think you do. When I went to Germany, my cousin took me to all these, because my family's from Germany, and my cousin took me to all these different places, and some of the places that he took me to were castles. There were tons and tons of castles in Germany, which surprised me. But some of them were just, you could tell they were really old.
Yeah.
My mom's town was, at the time when I went in 1999, the town was 1,200 years old. It was celebrating its 1,200th
anniversary.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah, I know, the town, it's 1,200 years old. I imagine that my family, probably my mom's side, probably they're hundreds of years. Yeah, because they were simple farm people.
No, I hear you.
They were,
yeah.
But I always said to my mom, I think she's part Viking, because my mom was a freaking workhorse, man. The woman was out mowing her grass in her late 60s. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she just was always.
Yeah. You might be part Viking.
Yeah, I could have Viking in me. I imagine if I did like a Me-23, I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
I always told Mark I wanted to do it because I want to see what he really is. Because some of the things they say that he is, like English and German, I think he's different.
Oh,
I honestly think he's different. Yeah. For me, I would know. I have an idea because my dad has talked to me about it. I'm French. I'm African. I'm Italian. I am from the indigenous peoples there too, in Nicaragua. And so are you, because your family has an indigenous
background.
Yeah, because I this is going to sound crazy, but in the summertime, if I go out in the sand, my feet peel immediately.
Oh,
and so someone said that's part of the Indian culture that's from that country. I'm like, that's interesting. I never even thought of that. I'm like, wow.
That is crazy.
Yeah, that means that I do have it because my grandmother.
Yeah.
On my dad's side, I mean, I'm like a mixed bag of everything.
Uh-huh.
I'm just like every part of the world.
The best way, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if someone says, well, says something to me, well, you know what? I'm Italian. I'm African. I'm French. I'm all of these different things because of my dad and my mom.
Yeah.
Especially my dad, though. Especially my dad.
You do. Yeah.
Yeah. My grandfather, my dad's dad, worked on the Panama Canal.
Really?
Yes. He worked on the Panama Canal. So I mean, that's how
so
crazy
history,
that is.
History is rich. Yeah. History is very rich.
But the importance of looking at these different locations is you learn so much about the movie, and it brings in so much more of the movie when you find out where they did this filming
and why they did it, why they chose to do it there. That's what this looking at the locales just for me, it's like, okay, I can see why this scene had to be done here, because it couldn't be done anywhere else. You know what I mean? Like, you had to go to Norway or Ireland to give off this feel, this look and stuff like that. So that's pretty dope to see why, why these scenes were chosen, and it worked well too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was perfect. It was perfect for that part, and even when they did A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith. I mean, Return of the Jedi. You see where they chose to. And they chose really dry, gritty places. They chose places that didn't have a lot of opulent to them. It's very.
Yeah, they had to create the opulent. They had to go into editing and bring the life out of the.
Right. Yeah. And in the first 3 movies, Phantom Menace, it was a high time in the galaxy. It was splendor, and they brought that to the movies. Even though people don't like them, take a look at of all the things going on in these movies, and maybe you'll get a better sense of why they did what they did. Because I do like the first 3 movies, even though Jar Jar Binks has his moments and stuff, and he may be goofy, but he was put there in the movie for a reason. Yeah. And George saw it in his mind and said, you know what, this is going to work perfect here.
Yeah.
He didn't just say, I'm going to write this and just like that.
Exactly.
He actually thought these things out, because I watched some of the extras, and he really spent a lot of time with even the Mustafar scene, because it was so heart-rending, so much feel and so much anger and so much hurt in that he wanted to capture it in that fight. And I think he did.
And for sure. One thing I can say about Star Wars cinematography is that whatever if it's not the music, or if it's not the locale, it's the music. If it's not the music, it's the locale. They get their point across as far as what they're trying to show the audience, whether it's love, whether it's someone battling with their inner selves or inner demons, what have you, or a battle in itself. They get the point across. For sure.
And you brought up the water scene when they go to, I can't remember what planet they go to in Rogue One, and they're going and Cassian is going to kill her father. It's raining.
Pouring rain, and that's because there was a dilemma. Something's gonna happen. The father's battling. Yeah, it's
the father's battling. Cassian is battling.
I forgot his name. He's in Rebels too. His character is in Rebels. I forgot his name.
Oh, the guy that says Borgalas.
Yeah. Yeah. I think with what water symbolizes in the story, it plays a big role as far as what's going to be happening next, or what's going to be happening in that moment.
Right.
Water does. Even in the beginning of Rebels, on her home planet, their planet is surrounded by.
There's a lot of moisture.
And what happens not too far from it?
It's a tragedy.
It's a tragedy. So because people even say when it rains, someone passes away. People say that even when my grandma passed away years ago, in 1997, shortly after it rained, right after that. So I know people do say that, though. I don't know if it's a Belizean thing. I've heard it growing up. I don't know if it's just a Belizean saying, but I've heard it in the States, obviously, of course, too. They say or they even say God shedding a tear for someone or something like that, something along those lines. You know what I mean? So I think, and I always thought that Star Wars had a lot more to do with the Bible too. I thought it was just a depiction of how George Lucas sees down there and up here. You know what I mean? In the fight that they go through and pulling people to the light side and the dark side, and what makes people do that too. So
they do make some references to it because
absolutely, yeah.
Anakin says it. He asks Padme if she's an angel.
Yeah.
And then Han Solo in Empire Strikes Back tells the one guy, "I'll see you in hell."
Yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah.
I thought that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Next week we're going to be talking about lightsabers, fighting styles, our favorite color of lightsaber. We're going to just go over weaponry, the elegant weapon for a more civilized age.
Yeah. That was well said.
No blasters.
That was well said.
So we'll be going over just the sabers, the lightsabers, and our favorite ones, and like I said, fighting styles and all of that. So from all of us here at Radio Geonosis, we're going to say goodbye. And Aaron?
Find us on Twitter, find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram at Radio Geonosis. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page. We get, I believe, 100 subscribers. We get our own customized URL. So it's not on numbers, it's letters. It's just youtube.com/Radio Geonosis. And make sure you follow me and Angie individually on our social network.
Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Peace out, guys.